Howdy, Edward Roberts again. You want to see something pretty cool, maybe even surprising? Good. I want to talk about things you might hear your fire investigator say. Today, we're going to talk about hot fires. If you hear your fire investigator use this term, hopefully he's just quoting somebody else, as in, yeah, we could tell it was a set fire because it was a hot fire. What exactly is a hot fire? Well, why don't we burn some things to find out? Ready to have some fun? Good. What we have here is air-dried wood, like you might find in the structural components of your home or your furniture. We have gasoline, like you might find in your car or poured across your living room floor if you're an arsonist. And flexible urethane foam, like you find in any stuffed furniture or your car seats, etc. Need a heat source, in this case an open flame device, a lighter. Now let's compare the behaviors of air-dried wood and gasoline. As you can see, the gasoline ignites very readily and you have a pretty violent flame going there. Air-dried wood is a little more difficult to reach ignition temperature. It takes a little more effort to get it to burn, and it's not nearly as enjoyable to watch burn. But here's the surprising thing. You would think the fire on the right is a lot hotter than the fire on the left, but laboratory tests have shown that the flames from gasoline and the flames from wood are actually about the same temperature. So these two fires actually produce flames that are the same temperature. Now, obviously the gasoline is already burning out where the wood hasn't even gotten really started yet. So we see some differences in how they burn. Now let's compare the air-dried wood to flexible urethane foam. Again, the wood is a little difficult to get started. You don't have that flash at the beginning that gasoline gave us, and it takes a little more time for it to build up in its intensity. But what happens with the urethane foam? Let's find out. As you can see, the flexible urethane foam is a lot easier to ignite than the wood. It doesn't flash like the gasoline, but watch it as it gets going. It burns essentially like gasoline. You can see it dripping and melting and the residue left over burning. It actually continues to burn a little longer than the gasoline does. And again, laboratory testing tells us that the flame temperature is about the same as the gasoline and the wood. So there you have it. What is a hot fire? Well, the better question might be, what's a cold fire? Well, I don't really know. I can tell you this, though, that in the case of over 30 houses burned with thermocouples inside, we've found the temperatures to peak at between 2,200 and 2,500 degrees Fahrenheit every time, no matter if the fire was started with balled up newspaper in a trash can or with gasoline. So bear in mind, if somebody tells you, we could tell it was a set fire because it was a hot fire, they may be accurate that it was a hot fire, but they're not necessarily accurate that it was a set fire because of so. Be careful of this phrase if you hear it.